Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 223. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding show in store for you. Today's show topic is the power of failure. 7 things I learned about failure. But today's show is actually a little bit different too, guys, because I'm actually videoing the show as I do it live. So I'm going to put this video up on YouTube, and just go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. It'll be video or episode number 223, so you can actually see me doing this show live. Now, because it's live and I'm doing video, the audio may be a little bit off because I'm moving around a little bit and doing those types of things, and I'm standing up also. So today's show topic, the power of failure, 7 things I learned about failure. Now, before we get to today's show, guys, I just want to give you a few reminders. Number 1, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating Black Dollars Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Now, let me show you the book actually since I'm doing video. This is the actual book. All right, it's about 180 plus pages of great content to help you build a successful, sustainable e-commerce business. Now, also, if you look, this is how the book comes packaged. Nice gold packaging with a black label on the front. So, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Now, you just go to anewblackwallstreet.com. It's $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Now, if you need additional assistance, you can take my online course titled Educated E-Commerce, and you can find that at educatedecommerce.com. You can enroll in that course. Now, for all you product producers, Black folks that produce product, I've created a platform where we can connect Black product producers with Black consumers, and that's Be Smart by Black. So go to besmartbyblack.com, upload your products, and now you'll be able to start circulating dollars worldwide in the Black economy. So anybody can go and upload your products on Be Smart by Black. Now, in about 3 weeks, I have another platform that's coming out. It's titled HireBlackFreelancers.com. HireBlackFreelancers.com. And the reason that I came up with this platform is I was looking for a videographer and a photographer for some upcoming events. And I'm in Philly and I wasn't even able to find it. So thank you, BEB family. I got a couple people that reached out to me. So I got a couple of events going on. I'm going to be in a Rider College up in Jersey, actually this weekend. So by the time that you guys get this or see this or hear this, it'll already pass. But I'll put that interview up. I'm getting interviewed at Rider College. And I got some other things coming up with my book tour. So and I'll give you guys an update on that next week as it's actually finally shaping in the form there. But I want to also welcome all the new BEB listeners. I always forget to do this because I just assume that you guys have been with me from the beginning. But if you're a new listener to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, welcome. I hope you enjoy the show. You got a lot of episodes to catch up on because we're on episode 223 as we speak. So we got a whole bunch of free content. And just make sure that you check it out. And I know you're not going to be able to digest it all at one time. But when you're riding in your car to work, you're going somewhere, you're on the treadmill, you're working out, go download Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and get yourself some information. All right, that's what it's all about. Trying to provide you guys with some actionable steps to move you from point A to point B. Now, let's get back in today's episode, which is the power of failure. 7 things I learned about failure. Now, it's funny because we're always taught not to fail, right? You go to school, you definitely don't want to fail. You don't want to get left back or nothing like that. All right, anything you do, don't fail. But as an entrepreneur, that's part of the process. And so sometimes we have to embrace failure and what it teaches us. And so that's what today's show is about, the power of failure. 7 things I learned about failure. So the first thing that I learned, and it took me a little while to really get this when I was a new entrepreneur, was that failure is part of the process. You know, like I said, we're used to doing everything and you got to be successful. Yeah, Jay, you got to make sure you don't fail. You got to be successful, get good grades and all that good stuff. And I get that. But entrepreneurship is totally different. So it's part of the process to fail. You don't learn anything until you fail. Just like riding a bike. You keep falling down, you keep getting back up. And finally, you learn how to ride that bike and keep it in the road, keep it straight. So as entrepreneurs, a lot of times it's a shift in your mindset because we're always taught not to fail. But as an entrepreneur, it's part of the process. It's something that we have to get used to. But the thing is, once you fail or you do something wrong, put that in the memory bank and make sure that you don't do the same thing again. Because if you fail and don't learn from it, then you're doomed to failure all around. Okay, so part number 1, it's part of the process. And these are the 7 things I learned about failure, the power of failure. Number 2, you can convert failure into positive action. And the example I like to give is of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, when he went into the NBA Hall of Fame, or the Basketball Hall of Fame, he talked about the coach that cut him in high school. He got cut from the varsity team, I believe, in 10th grade. And that pissed him off, but he actually converted that failure into positive action. So he used that. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to teach you. As my grandma would say down south, I'm going to learn you, right? I'm going to learn you not to cut Michael Jordan. All right, so that's what he did. He took that failure and he converted it into positive action. He used it as motivation to take him to become the greatest or one of the greatest basketball players in the world. Now, if my dad was still alive, he'd tell you it's Wilt Chamberlain. All right. And I never seen Wilt play because by the time I was born, he was out of the game. But a lot of them old folks will say, yeah, it's Wilt Chamberlain. But he's probably either number 1 or number 2. All right. So you can convert that failure into positive action. All right. Third thing that I learned about failure, it's a foundation for your success. You see, because success is actually built on the back of failure. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier that you take those failures, you learn from those failures, and hopefully you don't make those same mistakes. So I couldn't be as successful as I am today without those lessons. Okay, without having failed. And like I said, out of the 17 different businesses that I've started, half of them probably were failures. Not like abject failures. There were a couple that were just horrible. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Some were like modestly successful. Then, you know, I hit it big with a couple businesses. But I wouldn't have got to that point if I didn't go through those failures. And that's what people have to understand. Sometimes the expectations are that, you know, I used to tell my wife that, you know, you just don't start a business and start from zero and then all of a sudden you're a multi-million-dollar company. And I told her before, I said, you know, if multi-million and billion-dollar companies can go out of business, why can't Jay Jones? All right. If you got companies that are capitalized and have all types of management and structure in place and they go out of business, what makes you think that Jay Jones might not go out of business? Now, yeah, I've gone out of business a couple of times, but every time I did, I learned and I built on that. And so that's what I'm talking about. It's the foundation of your success. Don't let it cripple you. You only truly fail if you never get back on the horse. And I've told this story on a couple of episodes before, but I'm going to tell it again. My dad was one of the first black commercial realtors in the city of Philadelphia. Then he decided to go into residential real estate with his partner, It was going well for many years. I used to go to the office with him when I was little. I can still remember that. Then he sold the business to his partner. His partner was moving. So what he did was he bought out the other half of the business. Now, because my dad and his partner grew up like brothers right next door to each other in North Philly, then he never got the books or anything audited. And what he found after the fact was that his partner, who was handling the insurance side of the business, it was real estate and insurance, he actually was pocketing the insurance premiums from the clients. And so when their policies, when the customers were getting cancellation policies, they came to my dad and were like, yo, what's going on? I paid my premiums. So what happened was my great-grandfather had to bail my father out of a lot of money. Even back then, it was really crazy money. It was like $100,000, which is a lot of money even today. And he had to bail my dad out. And after that catastrophe, my dad never got back on the horse, and he never went back into business for himself again. And before he died, we actually talked about this, and he really regretted that fact. He let that shake him to his core, to his foundation. So unfortunately, he didn't use that failure, and convert that failure into positive action. He let it overcome him. And he always regretted that, even to the day that he died. Now, today's show, guys, is the power of failure. 7 things I learned about failure. That was number 3. Number 4, failure helps you learn how to persevere. Okay? Sometimes people aren't built for entrepreneurship, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, because there's a lot of pressure, there's uncertainty. There may be times where you don't have any money, you don't know where the money is coming from and when it's coming, if it's coming at all, and you have to be built a certain way. Now, I tell people all the time, you can become accustomed to all types of things. You can be accustomed to good things, and you can become accustomed to bad things. Now, when I was young in college and, right out of college, and I'm traveling, if I'm driving, across the country or whatever, or from Philly down to see my people down south, I didn't mind stopping at a Red Roof Inn, right? Ain't nothing wrong with Red Roof, right? But now I don't stop at Red Roof. I go to Marriott. Not that it's got to be a 5-star or anything, but I'm accustomed now to staying in different places. I'm accustomed to living a certain way. So what happens is, when you're an entrepreneur, failure helps you learn how to persevere through the good and the bad times. So once again, that perseverance is going to be paramount to your success. And if you can't handle that, or the ups and downs, you're not going to be a good entrepreneur. And so a lot of times, that's why I tell guys and gals, that you need to stay within a group of like-minded people that understand that this is what it is. You're going to have to persevere to become successful. So how many people do you know that stayed into their business or whatever for a long time, didn't see the great results right away, but eventually, because they had that perseverance, they overcame and they actually became successful? Not necessarily because they were smarter than you or better capitalized than you, but they had more perseverance. I know a buddy of mine that was in the financial services business. And when we both started, he started a year before me. Man, we were getting for lunch. We had to go find coupons for $1 Big Macs just so we could eat lunch. Because in that industry, it's based off of commission after you start building your book. So you really don't make that much money at first. And now 30 years, 25, whatever years later, he's killing it. Now, that's all he ever wanted to do. So he persevered through that. And for me, it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't in love with that business. So I just said, you know what? I'm about to go out on my own and do my own thing. But perseverance, this is what failure will teach you. It'll teach you how to persevere if you're built for entrepreneurship. And once again, guys, some people aren't built for it. All right. The 5th thing I learned about failure is failure doesn't stop you. It's the fear of failure that stops you. Let me repeat that. Number 5, failure does not stop you. It's the fear of failure that does. So how many times or how many people do you know that had great ideas and wanted to start a business, never started a business? not because they were a failure. They were afraid of failing. The fear of failure. And I put up a Instagram post about a month ago, and it said, if you face your fears, you're fearless. You look your fear in the eye and you walk through it. It's all about managing your mindset. So failure doesn't stop you most of the time. It's the fear of failure. What if? What if I do this and I don't make any money, and the consequences are I get my car repoed, I lose my house, all that. And I get that. It's real. Been there, done that. Now, I didn't do all of that now, but I'm saying I understand the fear. And the Bible says, yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no man, right? The shadow can't hurt you, all right? I hope I said that right, but you know what I mean, right? Shadows can't hurt you. And I used to tell my kids that all the time. Shadows cannot hurt you, right? So, but a lot of times people fear is greater than the circumstances if they do fail. It's the fear of failure. So failure doesn't stop you. It's the fear of failure. 6, all right, allow failure to be a part of finding yourself. And I know people going to say, what are you talking about, Jack? But once again, if you don't expand your boundaries and try things, then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to grow. So allow failure to be part of finding yourself. And I'm not talking about going out there doing stupid stuff with things that don't make any sense. But recognize and understand what failure is. It's a tool, and the way you deal with that failure is what's going to make you or break you. Michael Jordan used it for ammunition, right? So, hey, I'm going to show you. You cut me from the varsity team on 10th grade, I'm going to show you. I became the greatest basketball player in the world. So allow failure to be a part of finding yourself. So don't be scared to try new things. And so some people, all they do is do what they know. They never expand or stretch out their boundaries. And that means that they're going to stay stuck in this box or this circle. So try new things and your mind becomes expanded. They said, I think the quote is something like, once your mind expands to a certain place, it can never go back to where it was. And that's a truism. So learn new things, try new things, and don't let failure stop you. Allow failure to be part of finding yourself. Now, today's show topic is the power of failure, 7 things I learned about failure. And number 7, and probably one of the most important things that I realized was, failure is an event. It's not a person. Your name doesn't become failure if you fail on something. It's an event. It's a part of your makeup. It's a part of your experience. It is just an event. You don't walk around and now your name is failure. Once again, it's an event and not a person. So when people ask me, oh man, you failed that many times? Yeah. Because I want to grow. Okay. Like I said, you get on your bike the first time and you're learning how to ride, you're going to fail, right? It's pretty common. It's pretty known that you're going to fall down the first time you get on a bike. People don't expect you to be successful right away. And entrepreneurship is a lot like that. Now, you may have a safety net and stuff like that, but until you get out there and do something, you're not going to know if you'll be able to do it. And like I said, failure, you build on those failures to propel you to success. That's what life is all about. I tell my kids, even today, and especially when they were younger, my oldest daughter, she was in gymnastics. She wasn't great at gymnastics. She tried hard. One of the things I'll say about her, she gave everything she had, but that just wasn't her thing. And I had to sit down and explain to the girls, I'm like, look, guys, you're not going to be good in everything. God gives us different gifts. So accept the fact that you're not going to be good in everything. You're going to fail in certain things. Like if somebody told me that, or a kid said to me, oh, I want to be a pediatrician. And their mentality or their makeup, IQ isn't that to be able to get there. It's nothing wrong with saying, hey, That's a great idea, but you failed third grade 3 times. I don't know if that's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but you're not going to be good at everything. And so I used to tell my kids, do your best. You never know what can happen. But if you're not good at something, that's fine. If you fail at something, that's cool. That's part of the learning process. But there are a lot of things that you are good at. So number 7, failure is an event, not a person. I think people take failure so personally. And I had to get over that myself because, having a family and people, your friends and family looking at you and they're like, man, you left this good job and now you out here doing this business and that business failed. Look at this idiot. Now, they didn't say that to my face, but I'm pretty sure that was some of the conversation. Look at this fool. Who does he think he is? Does he think that he can be successful? Why does he think that? Yeah, I'm daring to be great. I ain't scared. I dare to be great. Now, there's a lot of times that I sit there and, like I said, I've been looking up at the ceiling sometimes wondering how this is going to work out. But I dare to be great. And I don't take crazy risks. I take calculated risks. But once again, if you don't press or expand your normal to do other things, you're never going to grow. So failure is an event, not a person. So today's show, The Power of Failure, 7 things I learned about failure. I'm just going to rehash real quick. Just bear with me real quick, guys. Once again, I'm doing some video as we do the show too. So number 1, 7 things I learned about failure, the power of failure. Number 1 is part of the process. It's par for the course. If you start a business and you think you're not going to have some setbacks and failures, I don't know what to tell you. All right, because it's par for the course. And that's how you learn. That first business you start may not fly. Second one may not fly. Third one may not fly. The fourth one may go because you learned everything from the first, second, and third. All right. Second thing I learned, you can convert failure into positive action. Use it as fuel. Michael Jordan, use it as fuel. Okay. Oh, you don't think I can do this? All right, let me show you. I'm putting the work in. I'm doing what I need to do to make this new business or make this business successful. So you can convert that failure into positive action. Third thing I found out, failure is actually the foundation of your success. And I just used the example of your fourth business hitting, your first, second, and third didn't. The success is built on the back of those failures. That's education, all right? And that's what I call know-how. And I say it all the time. They might have to put this on my tombstone. There's a difference between knowledge and know-how. Knowledge comes from many different sources. Watching this video, listening to this podcast, reading a book, watching somebody do something. Know-how comes from actually doing. So if I read a book on how to fly an F-15 fighter jet, and it tells me I need to do this, the plane will go to the right or go to the left, up, down, whatever, I've got that knowledge, right? But if you put my butt in the F-15 cockpit, I don't know how to fly the plane. So knowledge can be acquired anywhere, and it's easy to get. Know-how only comes from doing. So I want to be able to know how to do something, and that only comes with experience. All right. So once again, it's number 3. It's the foundation of your success, failure. All right. Number 4, fourth thing I learned about failure, it helps you to learn how to persevere. Okay. It helps you persevere. If you can mentally deal with failing and continue to move forward, that just makes you a stronger person. And to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to be built like that. All right. Fifth thing I found out about failure is failure doesn't stop you. It's the fear of failure. All right. Most times people don't even get past go because they're scared of what can happen. As opposed to thinking about the good things, a lot of times we're mentally programmed to think about the negative things. What are we going to lose as opposed to what are we going to gain? I'm going to lose that paycheck that I get every 2 weeks, right? I'm going to lose that bonus that I get. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my car. I'm going to lose my shoes, my clothes, whatever. As opposed to thinking about what can you gain? So failure doesn't stop you. It's the fear of failure, and most times the fear of possible loss. The sixth thing I learned is that you allow failure to be a part of finding yourself. So if you never stretch, you never grow. And sometimes stretching entails failing in things. And number 7, which is to me one of the most important things that I learned, is failure is an event. It is not a person. It's not you. You fail in business, you don't walk in the house and your wife and your kids look at you and say, hey, failure. Nah, they say, hey, Dad, hey, Jay, hey, whoever you are. So you have to separate the event from a person. And I know a lot of times people be like, oh, yeah, that dude, he's a bum or whatever. He's failing and everything. And people are scared to get labeled like that. But it's an event. It's just a snapshot of a specific time in your life and a specific event in your life. It's not you, the person. And once again, as a successful entrepreneur, you have to have the mindset to fight through all of that nonsense. Block out all of that clutter, all of that noise. And remember, when you're a successful entrepreneur or looking to be an entrepreneur, you need to talk to people that are 3, 5, 10, 20 steps ahead of you that have gone through that. You can't talk to somebody that's risk averse, that never wanted to be an entrepreneur, and ask them things about entrepreneurship, because what they're going to tell you is totally counter to what you need to hear as a prospective or an entrepreneur, a current entrepreneur. They're going to tell you about the safety. You know, they're 2 paychecks each month or whatever. When an entrepreneur, you have to get accustomed to walking on that tightrope. You have to get accustomed to being able to create your own money. And that's what entrepreneurship is. So in order to consistently move forward, you need to put the right people in your corner. Now, sometimes, and I say this all the time, you're going to have the wrong people in your corner because they live with you. It could be your spouse, you know, your kids or whoever, family members, mom, dad. I had a lot of that, but I had to shut that noise out. And in order to be able to be successful, you got to be able to focus. So a lot of entrepreneurship it's a mental game, right? Now you have to have the strategy, the product and or the service, the distribution, the delivery, and all of that type of stuff. But a lot of it is a mental game, being able to continue to move forward through the noise, through the failures, through the setbacks. Because if you learn how to do that, then if you're on the right path, you're going to get there. But if you're being, every time somebody says something, you listening over here, listening over there, nah, man, don't do it. Surround yourself with like-minded people in your corner. You want people that believe in you, that believe in your vision, and that support you, even if they don't quite understand. If they support you, yo, man, I don't know what you're doing, but I know you usually think things out, so I got your back. What you need. You don't need people to talk negative to you. And I used to tell my family members, I'm like, yo, I know you're trying to help me, but you really hurt me. Yet mentally, you already got the inner battle going on right now. Did I do the right thing? Is this the right move? Should I not have done this business or whatever? And now when I got somebody chirping in my ear negatively, that affects me. So the power of failure is real. All right. So like I said, don't let failure stop you. Let it propel you. Build on those failures. So as you continue to move through your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to learn, and you hopefully don't make the same mistake more than once. And like I said, I probably learned more from my failures in business than I have from my successes. So the power of failure, 7 things I learned about failure. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, if you're listening to it on one of the podcast, platforms, you can check out the live version on YouTube. No edits, no nothing, straight as it is, live and in living color. All right. Now, before we roll out, guys, if you need to connect with me, please go, if it's anything long, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. That's JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, BEB, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Just find me on Facebook. Twitter, jjones001. Instagram, jjonesforreal, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. YouTube. Just go to YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and subscribe to the channel. I have additional content that comes out on YouTube in addition to the regular show, which gets uploaded to YouTube. LinkedIn, if you need to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn now. J. Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Just go on LinkedIn, you'll find me. You'll see my picture there. And if you want to be included in the BEB text line, just text BEB to 555-888. BEB to 555-888. I'm not going to bug you, with all of this stuff. But for notifications and reminders of special events and things of that nature, text BEB to 555-888. And once again, and I say it every week because I mean it, boy, you guys, please continue to spread the word about the show, the podcast, the blog, and all the other platforms. Each and every episode, we get more and more downloads, and that's because of you guys, the BEB family. Like I said, people, thank me for doing the show, but I want to thank you guys because it makes me alive. This is part of my mission. This is part of my assignment. And I enjoyed the dialogue with the BEB family members and just being able to share my experiences. So hopefully you don't have to go through some of the stuff that I did and some of those failures that I talk about all throughout the podcast. So please stay connected with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any way you want to. And please continue to spread the word about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast and the blog. We're trying to get this good word out there. And one last plug for my book. Don't forget, if you're looking to build a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, check out A New Black Wall Street. Just go to anewblackwallstreet.com. It's going to take you from A to Z through the book, examples, the whole shebang. And that's a wrap, family. Love you guys. I'll see you same time next week. Peace.